My, how the times have flown. Welcome back, my Skrills. And today, part 2 of fixing Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. But of course, if you need to be caught up, then go watch the previous video of me tinkering with the first act, the beginning of it all. For a recap, I cut away the chase scene. Trying to remember back to that video being like, it's been a week. Oh yeah, right. We also, gave it a more solid and serious tone. We also made America Chavez an interesting character. Well, I think she was always an interesting character. That is a lie, I tell you. A lie. She was already interesting. But we made it so that now we know where the end goal is. And I just think that it should have opened up like, well, something that Marvel's not used to. Well, now that I have a handy-dandy computer of 5,000 right here, it'll be much easier to well, you know, map things out. Now, as I said in the previous video, Chthon will be the big bad the big bad of the film, the big presence that I really thought he was going to like, and I really thought they were really going for that Chthon, for Chthon controlling Wanda shenanigans, and now I figured out what the name of those minion henchmen are: the Ungari. So, thank you, new rock stars. I remembered something. Very important and is not useless to this world. Okay, now okay. Also, one of my biggest flaws of the video was pausing because I was watching Black Panther, one of the greatest Marvel movies of all time. And might I remark that I love movies set in Africa? I mean, like, I like The Lion King and I like Black Panther. What do they have in common? Both set in Africa. And they're both about a hero that was pushed into exile, but now must reclaim his throne. It's almost like I like royalty stories in Africa. That is weird. Okay, back on the recap. We also introduced 2 new characters, Tommy and Billy, aka Wiccan and Speed. Now, of course, you may be wondering, but Nicholas, why would you introduce 2 new characters? Well, first of all, that was the biggest missed opportunity of the entire movie. I mean, like, all they use Tommy and Billy for is an ice cream song. No. We're using Tommy and Billy for more. We're using them so that way... we're using them so that way they are a central point in the film. Also, we changed Wong from having a minuscule role to having a big role. So he changed from a supporting character to one of the main characters that goes into the fabric of the multiverse. Now, of course, if there's anyone who knows the multiverse better than anyone else, it's the Sorcerer Supreme. Well, sadly, maybe I spoke too soon on that one. Sorry, Doctor Strange. Yeah, that title was revoked from you, like, several years ago, since, well, on the technicality that he blipped. Okay, so as I also said in that video, at the end, we need to make connections to Loki and Spider-Man No Way Home. Those are the two other big events that we need to connect to. Or was it Doctor Strange? Oh, three! But still, we already got WandaVision out of the way, so we can just make little connections to it. So let's start where we last left off. Oh, and also, if you're not caught up by now, Wong, Tommy, Billy, Doctor Strange, and America Chavez are somewhere in the multiverse. Basically, 838 Earth, and the Scarlet Witch somewhere on 616 Earth, obeying Chthon's orders and sending his other underlings, the Ungari, to basically help Wanda in her multiversal quest. Now, of course, a lot of you may be thinking, and as I pointed out in the last video, that most people, when they try to fix this film, is that, as I showed with the Parasol Office, is that when they normally have something this good, but also is confusing, they usually just drop it. And then they just, well, say, I don't know what the hell to do with this script. It's just so bad, and I don't know why it passed for a movie. Well, as I said, drop it, catch it, set it down, plan what we're going to do with it. Of course, I tried my best, and I seem to have found my niche. So, instead of me just staring at a screen, just thinking of answers, let me show you the true power of this big brain. All right, so last time, so where did we leave off? Oh yes, America teaching them about the multiverse. So after Chthon has his evil laugh moment, sending his minions, the Ungari, and Wanda out to do his bidding, there is, of course, the pizza popper, Bruce Campbell. We still get the same joke. We'll come back to him later. I think we already talked about this in part one, but I'm just going to make it refreshed, so ignore what I said previously. So, of course, I come across Memory Lane, and Doctor Strange just says it's useless because, well, of course, it just predicts the same outcome with Christine. Then America Chavez, sad backstory, weep, weep, weep. Wong promptly passes. However, Tommy and Billy stop on it at once. However, it shows them connected, as if they were twins. Of course, they knew that they were twins, because, well, in my version, they're twins. They're grown-up twins. However, they see that the Scarlet Witch raised them, meaning they have memories from the Hex. I almost said Hemorrhoids, Hemsworth. Ah! Anyways, we go on. Of course, then we reach the 838 Sanctorum, and we see the Supreme Strange statue. And of course, Mordo. So, really, also, another thing that the people really don't know is that originally in the opening of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Wong and Doctor Strange's now nemesis, Mordo, was hunting down wizards and sorcerers. Because, if you recall in that post-credit scene, Mordo is hunting for wizards and sorcerers, and witches are on the menu as well. So, he goes to hunt for the Scarlet Witch. Too bad for him because he got his head chopped off. Well, we would actually get a brief cutback to basically Mordo killing sorcerers and wizards. Then we cut to him getting to the Scarlet Witch's house. He gets in an intense battle and then really doesn't die, but is under the Scarlet Witch's control now, which then in pair would be under Chthon's control. So, yeah. It's really bad. Okay. So then, Mordo, unsurprisingly, or should I say, surprisingly, takes them in. And this is weird, strange. And immediately, he senses something is off. He's offered tea, but of course, notices the kettle that they're using. And soon then, he drops down the tea. He puts down the tea and and even Wiccan senses this, because he is a wizard as well. Of course, Tommy goes in head first and just gouses the whole thing down. And In America and Wong think it's okay, but Strange still has that sense of unease. Soon then, it comes clear that Mordo is trapping them, and of course, a brief fight ensues. But ultimately, Sorcerer Supreme Mordo comes out on top, and yeah, they're captured by the Illuminati, which then, of course, we meet 838 Christine. And then, of course, she gives the designation of the Earth we've been seeing all this time, 616. Now, of course, when this moment was heard in the Multiverse of Madness, this sparked both fan outrage and fan joy. While one part really liked that it was a nice homage to the comics, others were not so pleased because the Earth 616 continuity is the comics continuity. So wouldn't that mean that the comics continuity is now broken? Why, yes, 'tis broken as hell. 'Tis broken as bloody hell. A Bloody Mary, please. So yeah. And also, I think there was one big underutilization in this movie. And that was, indeed, the Illuminati. Now, of course, still Strange takes the joke as the Illuminati. But of course, I really think that the members there should have been like a bigger council like in the comics. So of course, we still have the same members: Captain Carter, Monica Rambeau, Reed Richards, Sorcerer Supreme Mordo, Black Bolt, Keeper of the Terrigen Mist. But also we get that superior Iron Man, played by Tom Cruise. Yay, we finally get Tom Cruise in the MCU. But I also think that and also, of course, Professor Charles Xavier, or just promptly known as Professor X, played by the wonderful Patrick Stewart. Good chap. But I really think that there should have been another member. What other member could it be? Well, feast your eyes on this. It's what I like to call a little something of misdirection. Of course, I would just love to have seen Agent Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Just imagine how both happy and ticked the fans would be, because, well, it would be nice to see full Coulson again, but also people are gonna be kind of mad that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not canon in the MCU and Daredevil is. But that's Hawkeye matters. Now it is time for the truth test. The testimony of truth. Of course, the Illuminati discusses the multiverse and says that and of course explains some things that we heard in the Doctor Strange and Multiverse Madness that we got, but also some things that I would add, like maybe some allusions to Kang, and also maybe a reference to Loki and Sylvie breaking the multiverse. Like maybe Mordo saying, a couple weeks ago, the multiverse stirred out of control. And the multiverse stirred out of control. And honestly, and it was due to some mischievous fella. Or was it fellas? Doctor Strange also has a look on his face saying, and I can instantly read as, oh, he remembers that Loki was a big threat. And of course knows, oh crap, Loki's broken the multiverse. They also mention He Who Remains. He also mentions He Who Remains. He Who Remains. And of course, we all know who that is. That is Kid Immortus, a Kang variant. We even get to see previews of other universes. Each with their own set of rules and boundaries, and they even have close connection to the Watcher. They even say that another godly being called the Watcher watches over them, and of course, this would be reference to Watu, the Watcher. There'd even be a brief cameo of him. In the sky, with those iconic light bright white blue eyes piercing through the sky, watching over everything. But of course, must not interfere. So of course, the Illuminati also tell him that basically, yeah, Strange didn't die defeating Thanos. He was using the Darkhold and therefore corrupted him. So that way, the Illuminati killed him and then covered it up as just, oh, Strange saved us all and sacrificed himself. But of course, now the ugly truth is revealed. The very, very ugly truth. But you know what time it is now? It's pizza time! This time, yes, it is pizza time. Which is translation, which is multiversal translation, for cutback time. We see Wanda going to Mount Wandagore, another base of Chthon that has survived without the sorcerers of the world figuring it out. Where Wanda taps into the Darkhold's darkest hours, and then Multiverse jumps to 838. Meanwhile, Wong, Wiccan, Speed, and America try to figure out a way to get out of these glass boxes. And also, however, then Wong is immediately taken to see the Illuminati. He's also shocked to see more. Now, of course, Wong said he felt that disturbance that Strange felt. However, you know Wong loves a good cup of tea. Loves a good cup of tea, you know. And then Billy and Tommy start to talk about if they are indeed the children of the Scarlet Witch. Should they kill their mother, the one that biologically gave them life? However, while Tommy was saying that, Billy is in a seance stance. His eyes bright blue. However, Tommy sensed something. Something was off with Wanda. But he also sensed that the Scarlet Witch was near, and she was ready to kill. And she was ready to kill at any costs to get her little boys back. Wanda then immediately starts tearing through the Ultron bots like paper. She starts to even control some, even using Ultron's voice from the 616 universe. The Illuminati. And of course, during all this, Wong is also answering to the Illuminati. And Mordo promptly says, I think we should kill them for being in violation with the multiverse. But of course, everyone disagrees with that. Everyone disagrees with Mordo's idea. And Strange confesses that he is not like the previous Doctor Strange. However, this is all before Wanda breaks in. And soon enough, Doctor Strange starts to tell the Illuminati about the big threat that is the Scarlet Witch. However, aka Wanda. However, Monica says that we can handle your little witch. Showing that bit of confidence and arrogance that Carol did not have. Dramatic pause for effect. Then boom! A massive jump scare occurs in which the Ungari invade the Illuminati corners. The Illuminati courtroom, whatever it's called. However, they are taken care of easily. However, then Charles Xavier says the Book of Ashanti is the only. Then Dr. Charles Xavier gives them exact directions to the Book of Ashanti. And while America, Wiccan, and Speed are trying to get out of the glass boxes, Christine, 838 Christine also helps. She pounds a fire hydrant against the thick glass. It doesn't work. However, with Wanda inches away, America desperately punches at it, and it works. And it's in the shape of a star. She's a star-spangled teen with a plan. Doesn't rhyme, but I wanted to make the joke. Then she uses that to free the twins, and them to get out of Dodge. And then they get out of Dodge. And then they get out of Dodge. Then they get out of Dodge. And the Illuminati goes to fight the Scarlet Witch. Now, this is the most problematic part and the most funny part of the movie. Reed Richards is claimed to be the most smartest man alive. And literally 5 minutes later, he gives away Black Bolt's powers, and then the Illuminati just grumbles from there. Smartest man alive, more like dumbest man alive. This time I would keep his mouth shut on Black Bolt's powers. And plus, Mr. Fantastic isn't that arrogant. But you know who is arrogant? Superior Iron Man, aka Tom Cruise. So he would be the one to basically spoil Black Bolt's powers. Wanda then says, "What mouth?" Pulls in his mouth, and then drops. However, also drops some Terrigen bombs. Another Illuminati prison holder from 616, a just simple group of bandits, take the bombs, and get back to the 616 universe to cause chaos. This would come to bite us in the back in Miss Marvel. When the Terrigen Mist becomes relevant again. Yep. You know where I'm headed with this. But this is not about Miss Marvel. This is about the Multiverse of Madness. And then, of course, the Illuminati then fights Wanda as best as they can. And this time it's not a two-way fight. Everyone starts fighting. Wanda single-handedly goes on a killing spree. Or just a battling spree, whatever you like to call that. But anyways, the Illuminati do their best. But Mordo, of course, being the pain in the butt that he is, basically says, without the Illuminati's decision, that his final vote is that he gets to execute Wong and Strange. And without Strange's powers, they're useless. He's pretty much useless against this version of Mordo. But of course, battle played out the same. Strange eventually gets away, and Mordo 838 Mordo makes the same comment. Wong and Strange get away, and Christine even repairs his cloak of levitation. Aw, so sweet. So sweet. They meet up with America. They meet up with America. And the twins. And then they escape. But not before Wanda pulls up not before 616 Mordo comes out, and he says, Doctor Strange says, "Oh, come on, again?" And in a creepy voice, 616 Mordo says, "Dr. Stephen Strange, you have to give me the girl, or else I will rip your part limb from limb." Something like boring dialogue, and then America even points it out, saying, what a boring monologue. And yeah, Mordo even says, "Silence!" in a deep bass voice. We even see Chthon pulling the strings. He says, "Finally, with America Chavez in my grasp, I can finally put an end to the multiverse. And I will avenge you, my master." Then multiple Mordos appear, mimicking Strange's cloning ability from Infinity War. And it looks like they're outmatched. But then the ghost of the Ancient One appears. Finally making use of her time, and telling Doctor Strange that it wasn't a mistake to give away the Time Stone. And, well, something like that. I don't know. But of course, they give them some power-ups, and they defeat the possessed 616 Mordo and knock him out for the time being. But of course, ducked. But of course, Meanwhile, with the Illuminati, they're not doing so good. Without Black Bolt, they're pretty much useless. They're pretty much hopeless. All because of Superior Iron Man's arrogance. Some of the Illuminati members even die because of it. And while Wanda does trap some of them, she then sees Chavez, Strange, and the others running to where the Book of Ashanti is. She screams out, "No!" in a very deep voice. Yet again, showing that Chthon is pulling the strings. Showing that Chthon is pulling the strings. The Ungari, she then sends Chthon's minions after them, but not before Mr. Fantastic wraps them up well, you get the idea from the comics, and squeezes them extra tight, and soon Ungari guts spill everywhere, and onto Wanda, and even onto Wanda. Sorry for the pause there. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just get spaced out sometimes. You just have to excuse me for my arrogance. So, Wanda then pushes Mr. Fantastic aside and traps him under some rubble. Or just, silly enough, ties him in a knot. Ties him in an inescapable knot. But is really painful. But a really painful knot. Then and then of course the same jump scare scenes happen. And just as they're at the door to the Book of Ashanti, Wanda blocks the way. But then Professor X then buys them some time. And does try to help Wanda get out of the control of Chthon, but is no use. As he is presumed dead. Strange and the others then open the door to the Book of Ashanti. And this is where that chase scene comes back in. This time, they split up because the Scarlet Witch made sure to chase her, to let her minions have some fun too. And Chthon and it'd be an all-out battle for the Book of Ashanti. It'd be a tough one. They would split up. Like common more horror movie tropes, they split up and of course decide to fight the monsters. Fighting the monsters separately would basically help them get away from one another. But of course, that tactic's already been done to death And even Speed would remark saying, don't they split up every time in a horror movie? Because I feel like I'm in a horror movie right now. Of course, poking at the fourth wall. And even with him looking at the screen for about 2 seconds. Implying that, well, he knows he's in a horror movie. Blah! I'll get you guys eventually. I'll jump scare you eventually. Anyway, we continue on with the plot. Now I know the first video was an hour. So, yeah, expect no more 1-hour videos until, like, the finale of this series. This one's gonna be, like, 48 minutes. I promise yous. I promise y'all. It'll be 48 more minutes. Not 48 more minutes. I promise you, it'll be only 48 more minutes. Why do I keep saying that? I promise you, it will be 48 minutes. That's it. You only have about 6 minutes left. So let's make the best of it. So then, back to the story we go. Now, of course, this all has to fit within a 2-hour and 26-minute time span. So, of course, the fights would be quick because we need time for the third and final act. And just when it seems like they're surrounded by the monsters, Wiccan then unleashes a powerful blast. And while the monsters are stunned, grabs the Book of Ashanti and casts a spell to make them be gone. And it seems like they've won. But of course, alas, they have not won. In fact, the only thing they have done is peed off Cathan. And he unleashes the secret weapon. Soon then, tentacles and monster appendages fly at them from every angle. And then Strange is preposterously puzzled. Who could this be? What sorcery is this? Soon then Wanda appears, and just as Strange is assuming it's her, it is a version of Supreme Strange from What If, but not the exact version. It is a version that was of pure evil. And is even given the name Dark Strange Supreme. No. Dark Supreme Strange. And of course, we know what already happens. Then Mordo shows up. And they say, so, and then Doctor Strange says, so it's all three of you. All three of you want America Chavez. Wanda, you hypocrite. Why would you be working with them? But then they all spoke at once. Well, first spoke Doctor Strange Supreme. He said, in my world, I lost everything. and I couldn't get a grip on it, so I made a deal with the devil. Then they all spoke. Dr. Stephen Strange. He looks up, and then he sees the real threat. Chthon. I should have known. I should have known you were behind all this. Wicked also says, I felt it ever since. I felt it ever since I first came in contact with the Scarlet Witch. Chthon talks on. Yes, it is I, the mighty Chthon, and you, Dr. Stephen Strange, former Sorcerer Supreme, Wong, new Sorcerer Supreme, and Tommy and Billy, Wiccan and Speed, the twins of this here woman. But she cannot hear nor see you. She just thinks you're two normal men as superhero vigilantes. Now, what is my real plan, you ask? Well, I'm glad you thought of that. I was tired of being cooped up in hell, alone, scared. But then I made a deal with someone. However, I was the main threat all along. Ew. You see, Dormammu was a minion of mine, and I sent him to Earth to be rid of you. But when he came back saying that you used a green party trick stone, I was mad, angered, and ticked off as hell. Enough with the hell jokes. What is your plan? My plan is to break down the multiverse to its last atom and reshape it to my liking. When I'm done, I will destroy your Armitage, because it was a worship site for me, and me only. But I couldn't do it alone, so that's why your pretty little Scarlet Witch, which I felt the energy of Westview since I never felt such energy since I was worshipped by my disciples. When Agatha told her about the Dark Code, when I sent her to corrupt Wanda with the Dark Code, I felt the energy. It was glorious and beautiful. Oh, and you just think those two boys, the Maximoff twins, were fake. They're real, but made from parts of my soul. And so, this is my everlasting vow. No more sorcery. No more order. And I'll be taking America with me. In a state of disarray and disrepair, Strange, Wong, Wiccan, and Speed were shocked. And the Scarlet Witch then said, "And you won't be in the right multiverse when it happens." Soon sending them to Earth 717. Where they're in a constant mood of disarray and dishope. Dr. Stephen Strange was defeated by an entity that was pulling the strings all along. He needed help. He needed a backup plan. And he needed to get Chavez back. But to be continued. And that, my friends, was Fixing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Restructuring Act 2. Next time, we will be restructuring Act number 3. Radio time. And don't you worry, the Parasurface and Baryonyx Cyber Connection review will be coming soon. But to stay up to date, why don't you make the YouTube algorithm happy and super smash the subscribe button, and also do me a favor and atomic breath the like button. It helps me and pleases the YouTube algorithm. But don't forget to tickety-tack-tack a comment down below, and also ring-a-ding-ding the notification bell. It helps you get notified when I upload a new video. And next video will be amazing. In fact, it'll be the Parasololophus and Baryonyx Hammond Collection Review Extravaganza. But for now, and until then, I upload shorts. And 2 new shorts just came out right now about Godzilla and the boys singing the Wellerman song. So, for now, my friends, long live the Skrills. God bless y'all. Have a nice and wonderful day.